After the break, we'll take a look at.
Pardon the interruption for a very important news update.
This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is your holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther, farther, farther. Theme hits loud, then the grips come off. Call out the card, call every payoff. Botches, legends, titles, and heat. Pay-per-view nights, run it back, repeat. They slam, we analyze. Move for move, every feud, every bruise, every pivot move. This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is your holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. No script, just true. Every jab breaks through. From the bell to the brawl. Name the show. We want it all. This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is no holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther.
What is up, WrestleManiacs? Welcome to the No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, WrestleMania Rewind series. We're doing WrestleMania 15 Attitude Era in full swing. Excited to get back to WrestleMania after we, wasted our time on Dark Side of the Ring, TNA. We are back talking about some actual good stuff. But before we get into that, Josh, my man, how are you, brother?
Listen, man, all I have to say is, how do they say it? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, No Holds Barred Wrestling Channel proudly presents you WrestleMania 15, the DX WrestleMania of all time. Every match, DX. Every match. The first match, Billy Gunn. The second match, Road Dogg. I believe the tag team match didn't have any DX members, but they probably talked about DX. The main event, did that have DX involved? I don't know. Probably. Dude, what is happening? This felt so bad.
Shawn Michaels showed up. He showed up in the right. Yeah, he appeared.
They were chanting HBK when he should have came out, but he didn't come out. Listen, I did have fun with this pay-per-view, with this WrestleMania, but you definitely felt who was writing the show. And Michael Cole didn't add to that. I couldn't stand his voice the entire time.
I'm glad you brought that up.
On top of that, it was nice to see Gorilla Monsoon.
Yes.
It was nice to see Gorilla Monsoon. They were in Philadelphia, 20,000 people in attendance. And man, you're either going to love the show or hate the show, depending on when you grew up. I can see people past our era who grew up with the Ruthless Aggression era or the PG era and can go back to this and go, this is AEW trash. Like, this is slop. Every match is 8 minutes. And I'm not saying I'm saying that. I'm just saying people could go back and probably say that because I think the talent level, I think this was a top heavy show, as in the main event was the main event and everything else was a Raw or SmackDown or Sunday Night Heat. So I don't know. How'd you feel about the show, Bobby?
You know what? To be very honest with you, again, this was a time where I didn't really pay attention to the Attitude Era. I was in WCW. I was paying attention to that. So this is really my first time watching it from start to finish. I've seen all the Austin Rocks. And so, this is the start of that trilogy, that legendary feud. But this was the first time sitting through the entire WrestleMania 15. And I got to tell you, it was a lot of fun.
Yep.
It was a fun show. I was pleasantly surprised by a lot of what I was seeing, again, just the characters and you got Shane and X-Pac, you got Kane. I mean, the way he was selling for Triple H in that match, I don't know if you noticed that. I mean, Glenn Jacobs, damn, where were you? I don't remember that, Glenn Jacobs. Mm-hmm. Butterbean, Bart Gunn. I mean, my goodness, it's just it was a fun show. We got to see Mr. McMahon, and again, he hasn't fully grasped the voice yet, but he plays an unbelievable bad guy boss, gets into it with the Big Show Paul White, and it was a fun show. That's what I'm going to say. For those, my son who's in that right now, who's lived through the PG era a little bit, and now this era, watching the Attitude Era and seeing some clips, and he told me today, he goes, Dad, now I'm like, oh crap, I got to go back because I know Gold. But he's like, I didn't know Goldust was that crazy. I was like, oh crap. I was like, I know. Hold on. But first of all, shout out to Maria, Justin Toner in the house, Fernando. He's at the beginning of one of the greatest rivalries in WWE history. Rock and Stone Cold, absolutely. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're new to the channel or new to the show, you're watching No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast on FTSN and the No Holds Barred Wrestling channel. Subscribe. But for me, just starting this show off, I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed it. Seeing China there is always, I always feel good seeing China. I love China, just seeing her evolution into what she started and how she's going in, and we know where her story is going in regards of singles competition. Sable and versus Tori, that actually was a little surprising for me. We'll get into that. Where do you want to start off? Do you have something else you want to talk before we get into the show? Michael Cole. Let me do that.
I mean, I was going to start with Sable, but yeah, Michael Cole. You can go to Michael.
So this was the first time we've heard Michael Cole in this WrestleMania Rewind series. He is calling the entire card up till the main event. Jim Ross comes out. Full disclosure, when he was coming out, I had subtitles on. I had it on mute because it was real. I couldn't sleep, so I woke up. It was like 5 in the morning. There were storms outside. My wife was sleeping next to me. I turned it on, and I was just watching it on mute. So I don't hear why that was the case. I don't know if they brought that up or not. But Michael Cole. Look, he has grown into be one of the better. Obviously, some people consider him the greatest of all time. I don't, respectfully. I think he's good. He's respect. I don't mind him, but I don't think he's the greatest of all time. You still have Jim Ross. You still have Gorilla Monsoon. Like, let's be. And I think even Michael Cole recently at the SummerSlam pre-shows they were doing, he said Jim Ross to him is the greatest of all time. So, and I understand here's his first show. I don't know why they put him in this spot. But I'll be honest with you, I'm with you. First off, it sounded like he was trying to imitate Jim Ross with the way Jim Ross talks. It was like word for word what Jim Ross would say minus the accent. So yes, he was a weak link to the show. Like commentary, it's like, my goodness, you had it so good at the beginning. Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Bobby. Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby the Brain. And then you go McMahon, Jarrett the King. And Jarrett the King Lawler, like, I don't remember him ever, you think fondly of Jerry the King Lawler with Jim Ross, but you go Jerry the King, but now it's like, it's tough. I could live without the commentary, but go ahead.
So, the Briscoes they had a little shop or something down here, near my house a long time ago. My family knew them like nothing like crazy. My family's not into wrestling, so like they just knew about the car and knew more about their car stuff rather than the wrestling stuff. It's just a family get together, and we were around that family a little bit, and we were talking, and we were talking about the King. He came up and about how kids shouldn't be watching him and how much of a bad person he is. And it's like they didn't register as a young child, right? A young teenager at the time. But as you watch in the years, and I knew this for a while, and I whatever, because you go back and you hear what he says. I just can't. I mean, at the time, I guess it was okay. So I guess if you go back and watch any Billy Crystal movie, what's that movie where they're all cowboys in the Western time?
City Slickers.
Nope, the other one. Maybe it's not Billy Crystal, but
Three Amigos.
So either way, they say a lot of like bad things in there, bad things in there. Bad. It's like, oh, that was the time, and it's like you have to watch it these days. Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
Was he in that movie?
Gene Wilder. No, it's not.
No, it wasn't him. Sorry,
that was Gene Wilder and Richard. No, not Richard Pryor. He was supposed to be Richard Pryor, somebody else, but I know what you're talking about now. Blazing Saddles.
So like that's the time, and at that time, like there was a big sign that literally said Vince McMahon is gay, and Vince even stopped like as he was walking up the ring. As by the way, after this WrestleMania, every single one, I'm going to find out who appointed the referees, because if it wasn't Shawn Michaels in the per WWE rule book, it shouldn't be allowed. Only Shawn Michaels is allowed to appoint referees, apparently. I think he meant commissioners. Do you remember that segment we watched? Either way. I don't know where I was getting at, but you have to understand where we were. It's not like today. If you had Mercedes Moné come out there, what Sable was wearing, and is doing a ridiculous hip thrust dance every 5 seconds. I know Mercedes does a ridiculous dance every 5 seconds anyway. She looks like a little 5-year-old kid, but she's not doing some overly sexual thing like this. Like, poor Sable. How do you think she felt getting that role? Or do you think she didn't care? Like, I don't know.
Got her on TV. It got her on TV. We're going to also get to that match, but I'll tell you, I agree with you. To me, it was like, you started off, okay, I get it, right? I mean, that's what WWE was back then, the Attitude Era. It was, sex appeal, right? And Sable was the lead horse on that. And you see even Chyna's, starting to switch from, I mean, my goodness, I forgot who the blonde one, I'm trying to remember her name. We'll talk about her.
Deborah.
But Deborah, not Deborah, but I was talking about the one who helped Sable at the end, in the end of her match. I'm trying to remember that name, but I mean, Deborah, but anyway, that's what it was back then. So, I agree with you though. I was like, come on, every 10 seconds, every time you get a chance to do a move, you do the hip thing, and it is what it is. But that's what WWF was back then. That's what it was. Well, let's go ahead and start this off. Let's get into the show. We'll get more into different stuff. Josh has some awesome behind the scenes stuff as we get along here, as we continue to the show. Again, today is SummerSlam Saturday, day one. So make sure you check out to Raw for SmackDown later on today for the post show for SummerSlam night one. And of course, day two, pre-show, post show on with Adrian Rainey on the To Raw for SmackDown podcast. Josh Kimmel will be there live tonight and tomorrow, possibly me tomorrow night as well with the crew. But let's get into WrestleMania 15, March 28th, 1999 in Philly at the First Union Center. We start off with the triple threat. Hardcore Holly. What do you want? Al Snow and Billy Gunn for the Hardcore Championship. The first time the Hardcore Championship defended at WrestleMania. It was okay match. It was fun. I know I've been Billy Gunn, even Road Dogg, but Billy Gunn, we'll get into Road Dogg, but Billy Gunn was over. He was hugely over. I mean, and I could understand why. Like, I remember when I first found out, like, they were, because if you look at Billy Gunn, I mean, he has the look, he has the charisma, he has, he's like the guy, like, you're like, hey, if you're gonna strap a rocket on someone and push him, that might be the guy to do it. He didn't really do that. You found out The Rock, was not really down with him and all that. But you watch this match, you watch how he works, especially the last WrestleMania we saw with Mick Foley and Cactus Jack and Terry Funk. Charlie, whatever his name is, Shotgun Charlie, whatever. But you saw that tag match, you saw that. But in this one here, you saw it more. I mean, he was great. The crowd was behind him. He worked well. Al Snow did good. My only complaint is the winner, Hardcore Holly. I didn't like the way the finish was. I liked the match. Again, I was kind of put off with Hardcore Holly win the match. And I didn't like the finish. And I think I really think Billy Gunn should have just retained it. But that's near here and there. What are your thoughts on this contest?
Yeah, so I saw Billy Gunn, Al Snow, Hardcore Holly, all guys I like and love watching. So another hardcore match. I liked about this match, there wasn't a lot of false finishes. Like, it wasn't a hardcore match from 2026 where we're getting needles in people's cheeks and we're getting cinder blocks and totally phony stuff. Everything that they did was realistic in the means of a wrestling ring. So that kept it kind of good for me. The reason why, by the way, Hardcore Holly was in this match is because Bruce Pritchard, he apparently, this is from, I did some research, people. I got research on most matches. He apparently just was a tough guy, and tough guys should hold hardcore titles because it should be a tough man title. And Hardcore Holly was obviously had the reputation of being the tough guy backstage. Billy Gunn wasn't supposed to be here. Billy Gunn was supposed to be the Intercontinental Champion. And later on, when I go down the line of matches and I see Road Dogg come out with the IC title, I'm like, why should they be switched?
They should be switched.
They should be switched. But the fact of the matter was, we'll get to the Road Dogg situation, why he was the IC title. He cut a better promo. He connected with the fans better, and he had Vince Russo's backing. Whereas Billy Gunn was more boring. He had the body, but Vince didn't see him as a road dog, as someone who was the charisma. As you guys know, Road Dogg does the whole spiel, and all Billy Gunn does is if you're not down with that. So that's the reason why they moved. It was more character based. That's why Billy Gunn was the hardcore champion. They wanted to keep DX hot. They wanted this to be all DX, as you guys saw. It was the hottest thing in the WWF at the time. It's just I think they had it flip flopped. Road Dogg should have, either way, whatever. I'm fine with the winner because it gets Billy Gunn out of this. Billy Gunn was supposed to lead to Triple H. This was supposed to be a massive Triple H, by the way. That was the way it was supposed to happen. But again, Vince was down on Billy Gunn.
Russo was down on Billy Gunn?
No, Vince was.
McMahon.
Vince,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
And Russo, because he couldn't cut a promo. He just wasn't connecting like a Road Dogg was.
Gotcha. That makes sense. World Tag Team Championship is the next match. It's Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett, which again, we just saw the Jeff Jarrett story on Dark Side of the Ring, Battle for TNA, and talked about his relationship with Owen Hart, talked about how close they were, best friends. And of course, you saw at the beginning, at Over the Edge, and then years later, as Jeff is now reflecting on his life, how it still impacts him today with Owen Hart. So watching these two together, it's like, it makes it different to watch these two in the ring together. But coming out with Deborah, and Deborah, I mean, steals the show at that point. I mean, she is, respectfully, I'm happily married or whatever, I'm not going to be, it's not there, but she is gorgeous. She is drop dead gorgeous. So she steals the show, but those three come out, and then Tess, D'Lo Brown with Ivory, the next, and Ivory, she's always from start to beginning. I remember this was the first time I've seen her in this WrestleMania series, but I remember her towards the end of her career in WWE, and still the same voice, same face, same everything. She is so good at what she does. And so it was really cool seeing Ivory. This wasn't the best match put together. Test 6'6", but he wrestles like a big guy. I mean, he's another one who's in fun, like that Billy Gunn shape, like he's in phenomenal shape. Again, another guy that you believe could be a guy especially in that WWF era or WWF pedigree, that he would be like, oh, that's a guy you could run with. But then you watch him, he wrestles like a big guy when he's only 6'6", and it's like maybe he would have gone further. D'Lo Brown's always fun, D'Lo Brown, but it was a little messy. The ending ends with Owen and Jeff winning the match. Excuse me. And of course, Test and D'Lo Brown going at it. Test is yelling at Ivory. Test and D'Lo fight. And then you see, for whatever reason, Jacqueline is there. And I'm forgetting who the other wrestler, the woman wrestler that was there. But for whatever reason, they're out. Terry Reynolds. So for whatever reason, they're coming out. I'm sure that's a story that's going on during this WrestleMania. But it was all right. It was cool seeing Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett as a tag, especially after we know their story. It's cool seeing Deborah. But it wasn't a match that I was like, oh, that was a good match. That didn't, like, after it was over, it's over. The thing that you remember is Deborah. That's it. So what are your thoughts on this match? And is there any backstory to this match?
Yeah, so basically, this was a match to get Test on the show. That's how I felt. Because they kept on saying, no, the new corporation hired Gunn, Test, right? That's all they kept on talking about. Look at this guy, Test. What? Deborah was there, and she was there. That's all I'll say about that. She was there, sure, I guess. Not my style, but she was a distraction for the people in the crowd. Mean Street Posse, by the way, they're the whole show. They're whole show. The entire show. I
remember. I forgot about those guys until I saw them. I'm like, I remember those douchebags. I was like, too. And I wasn't even watching WWF then, but I know those douchebags.
Yes.
But go ahead.
So they wanted to get Test on the show, and they didn't know how. So they thought, okay, who's safe? Jeff and Owen.
Yep.
Who can he work with? D'Lo can carry him. So this match was designed. That's why it was so simple. They kept it simple for him. Let Test do some spots. Let Test look strong. But in the end, it was a match just to highlight Test. But again, I don't care about highlighting Test. I don't care about the tag team championships. In my WWE Universe mode, I just delete those. I don't ever have tag team matches on my Universe mode, brother, because it's the stupidest thing in the world, tag team wrestling. So I'm like Vince, bro. That's the only thing me and Vince align on. I hate tag team, pal. But yeah, it was fun. It was cool seeing Owen. I just always like seeing Owen. He's my favorite Hart because he's
Mhm.
just we didn't get to see enough of him.
There you go. Now we come to the infamous Brawl for All. You got Butterbean taking on Bart Gunn. This is treated as a boxing match. I mean, they do the pre-show for it. We get to see Gorilla Monsoon. We get to see Chuck Rebner, who, if you guys don't know who that is, that's what the inspiration for Rocky, Chuck Rebner. And I forgot who the other guy was, but it was really cool seeing that. I like the presentation. I like the feel of it. If they actually got a legit, like if it actually worked out, probably would have been some better memory for WrestleMania. The way they did it, it's like, damn, Vince probably had something here, But of course, we all know the backstory to Brawl for All. It was a total best. But I just love. Go ahead.
I think you're confusing things. So I know a lot about this, and if I'm wrong, because I know some people here in the chat will know a lot about this. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But this was a win for Vince. This is what Vince wanted. This was what Jim Ross wanted. Everyone wanted this. Remember when Rusev went to AEW and Lana went through the announce table like 40 weeks in a row because he's petty? Remember how you just know how Vince is petty? Well, this whole thing started because Bradshaw. Vince Russo claimed he wasn't tough, so they started this thing to prove that Bradshaw can get his ass beat. That's literally the reason why. So this was reality. This is what was supposed to happen. But they had a winner. They wanted a hand-picked monster, Dr. Death Steve Williams, by Jim Ross himself.
I remember this. I know, I know doctors. Yeah.
And Bart Gunn knocked him out. And he won. And it embarrassed JR. It embarrassed Vince. The creative team was upset. This nobody who had no charisma, he was a jobber. He was Billy Gunn's ex-partner. He was going to go away. Just a guy. But he ended up knocking out their top monster. So how could this top monster ever come back? So they decided to bury him on WrestleMania. Everybody wanted this to happen. They were very happy that this happened. Bart Gunn was released, I think, a couple months after this as well. They wanted to embarrass him. So this is everything Vince wanted. This is everything JR wanted. This was an embarrassment to the company because it's unfair.
I guess that makes sense because before the contest, even though that was real, right? That was it was real.
So they told Bart, this is going to be a worked fight. Butterbean's going to play with you. And they told Butterbean, beat the fuck, just knock him out. Like they lied to Bart.
Oh, I got to look that up. I had no clue because it looked to me like Bart had no business being in that ring. Like, if that's the way, then that makes sense because when I seen that, being somebody who's watched boxing my whole life with my dad being a boxer, my brother's a boxer, Harrison, my family here loves boxing, my wife and my father-in-law, so watching that, I'm like, there's no way this guy should have been in the ring because he did not look prepared at all. That first swing when he did the little twirl, I'm like, you saw Chuck Webner kind of like, I was like, what the hell is this? And I mean, Butterbean made him look like look like $1 million. And so anyway, the knockout, the way they carried the fight, the way they had the lighting and everything, I was like, it looks like $1 million. I mean, it looks legit. But just the knockout was so violent. I mean, Bart Gunn, he was out, and it ended so quick. And you even see like the doctor, you see Gorilla Monsoon, you see the guy who was not Chuck Webner, but the other guy who was right next to Bart Gunn.
It was the coach. It was he helped train, I think, Muhammad Ali at one point. It was a trainer.
Yes. Okay. So even he got up and ran to Bart Gunn and was trying to fan him off and say, drink this, take this. So a very quick, but enough. The knockout was enough for you to remember. Like that was the one out of the 3 matches. I remember that the most, was the knockout by Butterbean to Bart Gunn. I mean, that stole the show up to that point for me. So yeah, but interesting. I had no clue that they told Bart, hey, this is a work, play around, go around the ring, which makes sense.
They said it. It was supposed to be a real fight, but they were supposed to play around with it. And he trained as because remember that.
Okay.
They said like, oh, there's going to be takedowns, 5 points, like takedowns, like wrestling takedowns. Like they had this like a Roddy Piper, Mr. T thing where then they told Butterbean, no, that's not going to happen. We're going to just kill him. And then after that, he was literally released. This was a don't embarrass the office. You knocked out our top guy. Now we can't. That's the thing about this. If you put a professional wrestler where we know it's a work versus a real athlete, and that real athlete knocks him out in 35 seconds, how could we ever trust that guy again. It's kind of like the whole
Can't.
Big Show and Mayweather. It was Mayweather.
Yeah,
That had to be a work, man. It had to be a work. But it looked good when he broke his nose at that wrestle. But
I was there. I was there live.
Big Show was pissed about it, by the way.
Yeah, he was. And I will
good,
say, Adrian Rainey in the house again. We just talked about it. Adrian Rainey. Don't forget to Raw for SmackDown preview for SummerSlam days 1 and 2 today and tomorrow. Go check it out. Josh will be there live tonight. Now we move on to the referee match. Who's going to referee the main event? Stone Cold taking on The Rock for the WWF Championship. It's Mankind taking on the Big Show. Big Show he's so athletic, so good for his size. He's great. He's going to go down as one of the great big guys at 100%. And you think about what he did in WCW, and you think about it was Undertaker I think it was after this, Taker kind of takes him under his wing, because it's like, I never understood someone that big and obviously that skilled. I mean, he a lot more skilled than Andre the Giant in the ring, even when Andre was at his peak. Big Show could do things other guys can't do at that size. But they did him so wrong, with the whole, mandible claw. So, and even in WCW, they did it, doing the easy stuff on him bumping for guys and doing so. It's like Taker was the one who told him, like, what are you doing? You're a giant, protect yourself, and it's true. And it's like, doesn't take rocket science to know, like, don't sell. Don't sell like that. It has to take a while before you drop to a knee. It has to take a while till you fall on your back. They have to work for it. And, I wish he had it more in him to demand that. They said, oh, this is the hottest free agent in pro wrestling. We got him. Paul White, Big Show. Maybe that was the case, right? He phenomenal shape. I mean, again, Vince probably saw Andre the Giant 2.0. But again, you get him against Mankind, and yeah, you could sell that Mankind's going to win the match. You did it right. It was DQ. It was disqualification. It was done right. But man, I'm like, I hated how they make Big Show look so easy to put down very quick. That's my biggest gripe about Big Show. And then, of course, another pet peeve of mine, McMahon smacks Paul White. Paul White knocks, takes him out, and then McMahon's going to arrest the Big Show. I'm pressing charges. Well, actually, it's self-defense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's easy to say that right away, and then you see him going into a regular rental car, and the poor guy has to bend his head like this. And anyway, not a memorable match for me. I was disappointed with the way the Big Show was presented here, and I always had been. I always think Big Show was so much more, and he is. He's going to go down as one of the greats. I'm not taking that away from him, but I think Undertaker takes him under his wing, and that's when Big Show starts to really hone that in. And same thing with Stone Cold. Austin was the same way, but he kind of put him under his wing too, in regards to being the big guy. But what are your thoughts on this match and how it ended?
Yeah. Let's just go into the Big Show Vince thing. I think that was silly. Like, Vince thinks he can come out there and smack him. And by the way, good job on the mics. On the Vince.
Yeah, you can hear every word.
Every word. Like, at least that was cool. Like, I like that. I like the way they brought that up. But Mick Foley, Mankind, has gone through 10,000 times way more pain than he ever had in that match, and was stretchered off. I didn't like that. I didn't like how Mankind was stretchered off, but we knew he had to go away some way, somehow, so he can come back and do the whole main event thing, right? I understood that. And you had to get Paul White arrested to get it. Like, you needed reasons to get them out. I wish there was a better reason. I wish they would have wrote something more realistic to get them off television. But it is what it is. My main gripe is this match should have never happened. But I understand why it happened. Mick Foley was supposed to be in the main event at WrestleMania 15. Did you know this?
No.
Yeah, he was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a triple threat match. It was supposed to be Austin, Rock, and Foley. And it was greenlit, good to go. Foley was mega over. It was good to go. And then Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Shawn Michaels, legit said, no, it can't happen. It should be a one-on-one match. And it's the right call. It's 100% the right call. So they wanted to keep Mick in the main event scene, and the only way to do that is to keep like what can Mick do? It'd be cool to have him pinstripe his shirt and be a referee and be involved. So I like the way they did involve him. I wouldn't have liked this if it was a triple threat match at the at the main event. I like the way they did this. So Sean was right. Russo was wrong. As usual.
Shocked. Yeah.
As usual. I miss these matches, man. Like tonight, I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow, but we're having a number one contender match for the championship. Finn Balor and Sam. I miss these things. I miss matches that had stipulations to another match. I like that. So I love the special guest referee. Like whoever wins is going to be the special guest referee. I liked afterwards where Vince was like, I'm going to be the ref. Like I got a plan going. And we all knew where it was going to go. And we get the backstage segment. Can we talk about that now? Because I don't think we're not going to talk about that per match, but we get Shawn Michaels comes out. Can we talk about that, or should we just save that for the main event?
Same main event, I think.
All right, because it led into this. But all right, we'll leave.
I'm sorry. If you want it, you go ahead, man.
No, we'll wait. We'll wait to the end because it leads in. It leads in.
Okay.
But yeah, bottom line is, I know I said a lot of word salad here, but I like Mick Foley. It would have been cool to see him in the main event, but I'm glad we didn't see it. What was next? Is tonight the main event? Tonight's the Finn Balor, Sami Zayn. Who wins that match? I know we're not doing a pre-show, Bobby. Who wins that match? Sami, right? It's got to be Sami.
Do they do that?
Because we can't do another Finn Balor lose because that's all he does.
Yeah, well, it depends on because this would go on the face CM Punk. Maybe it is Sami Zayn, and that Sami Zayn has one more shot to beat CM Punk, and then CM Punk beats him, and that story wraps up. Because I agree, you don't put the rocket pack on Balor to win this match and go against Punk just to lose against Punk.
Makes sense. Yeah,
it wouldn't make sense to do it. As much as I think, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Sami Zayn. I think you're absolutely right. I don't think it makes any sense for Balor to win right now. Maybe by a cheat. Something happens there, he cheats, and maybe we get a new guy come in and help Sami Zayn win this match tonight. But
reports are Kevin Owens is in Minnesota, but he could be doing a pre-show. He could be doing the pre-show.
He could. Is Mr. McMahon in Minnesota? That's the question.
Hey, did you watch Real Talk Wrestling, brother? Because half that show was
I didn't. Now that I didn't have a chance. I meant to.
Adrian, I know you're in the chat. There you are. Do not let me derail your show with my Vince McMahon because Maria heard it on the AEW Rundown and Real Talk Wrestling.
Okay.
Because I have conspiracies and I have evidence, I have facts. Vince McMahon is in charge again. I have all the facts. I have all the proof. So Adrian, do not let me run over your show because I will do it on accident. I will do it tonight too, or today on this show. Dude, I'm so upset about Vince being back. Hey, remember when Braun Breaker was the main eventer? The guy who was leading the vision, and all of a sudden now it's Austin Theory? Who was in Austin?
Oh, jeez.
Who was the Vince guy? Who was the Vince guy?
Come on, bro. Don't make me Russo the show, bro. Bro.
Hey, that's just evidence. What do they say in court? That's just evidence one or whatever. Whatever. That's just number one.
That hit though, like that got me because when you said that, I'm like, but because I have my own theory on Braun Breaker. I mean, they tried, it wasn't moving. He's good. He could be great. Wasn't working. He flatlined, and now they do have a story. I mean, Maxine Dupree. I'm interested in her. I like what they're doing. It's just Braun Breaker now is the afterthought. I'm interested to see what Grayson Waller. I mean, he cut that monster promo on NXT. So it's interesting. I'm telling you, I don't know.
Hey, last thing before we move on to the next match, I don't want to derail.
You sure about that? You sure? Because it looks like we're going somewhere.
Brock Lesnar was retired at WrestleMania for real. Someone told him, "Hey, the boss is coming back," and now all of a sudden we're getting reports that Brock's not even close to being done. All I'm saying is, when Vince was removed, who left? Who took their ball and went home? It was Brock. Now all of a sudden Brock retires, and all of a sudden he's back, and he says he's got so many more matches in him. Someone told him, "Hey, the boss is coming back. You might want to come back." I'm just saying, there's more. If you watch the television shows, there is more telling you that Vince is back. Danhausen. There's so much going on, guys.
Oh gosh, that's its own show, man.
Hey, but whenever Fightful or whoever reports it in 6 months, and I've been saying it since July, yesterday, day before, come back here. telling you guys. All right.
See, he says, I want all real Josh. He wants it. He said, steal the show. Either way, like, you know, why we're talking about Vince? Well, you know, the case, it's now what's that called when they get rid of the case? They kicked it out of court. So that's why everybody's thinking, oh, Vince could, you know, does he come back as a character or whatever? You know, we'll see. But Josh will forever believe that Vince will be running the show, especially with this. But let's get into it. When Vince was running the show and when he was doing it well enough, it's the Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental. I say, this is when I say in the video game, the Intercontinental Championship. My son starts laughing. It's the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Intercontinental Championship. Road Dogg taking on Shamrock, Val Venus, and Goldust. Blue Meanie and Ryan Shamrock in the corner of Goldust. Again, this is one I had the thing on mute, so I don't know what the hell this was. This wasn't really a Fatal 4. This is like a tag team match.
So weird.
You know, I think it was like an elimination tag team match, and Final Man Standing is the winner. The stuff they came up with back then, I'm so confused because I was like, oh, this is Fatal 4-Way. Oh, it's Fatal 4-Way elimination. It's a tag? No, they're all fighting each other. And gosh, again, talk about Big Show, Shamrock. And again, we're not following every story from every show. We're watching WrestleMania. But what a lost opportunity. Man, they make Shamrock look so stupid. Like, I mean, my goodness, this guy's a real tough guy. I mean, but he always gets himself screwed over. It's just the stupidest things. You know, now he's counted out and with Val Venus. But let's get into the start of it. First off, Road Dogg, we talked about it earlier. The fans he doesn't even have to talk, and the fans are talking. He's way over with the crowd. Again, he doesn't have the look of Billy Gunn, but my God, he's like, you could strap a rocket just because of the character. And he's really good in the ring. He was, Road Dogg Jesse James, his family's a 3-generation. I think his brother was a wrestler and his dad was a wrestler. I don't know, maybe 2-generation, but he has the business in his blood. And so he was great in Val Venus. Hello, ladies. I was like, oh, that's goofy ass motherfucker. And so he gets out, and then you got Goldust, who's just, again, Dusty Rhodes' son and Cody Rhodes' brother. And, he's a natural in the ring. So again, I was so confused by the setup of this match, but entertaining. Road Dogg, Goldust, last two standing after Ken Shamrock and Val Venus, of course, get eliminated from the contest, being counted out. Again, just stupid stuff. And then Road Dogg getting the victory over Goldust, which looks like Goldust hit a move and all of a sudden Road Dogg rolled him up, if I remember that correctly. And so it was kind of a goofy looking finish, but Road Dogg retains, and then Blue Meanie and Goldust go off on Ryan Shamrock, and that's the end of that. So not much to add to that other than that. What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, it was a mess. It was a Fatal 4-Way match, but they called it something else. I forgot exactly what they called it. But the idea was it was an elimination match, and you had to be tagged in, or you can tag anyone in. So if you're the champion, why would you want to be tagged in to stay on the sidelines? There was actually times where Road Dogg was cheering for people to get eliminated, so that was pretty cool. Instead of like, let me in, let me do it. No, stay on the sideline. You let people do it. Shamrock, weird that he, look at these guys, right? Look at them. Just look at these guys. Road Dogg is not a body guy. He looks like a roadie. I mean, he's great character work, but he does. Val Venus, by the way, massive. He could eat Jack Perry for breakfast. Like, look at the guys that we have in wrestling now, and he's a mid-card. Like, Val Venus was a low-end mid-carder, and he looked like a main eventer today, like the way his body looked, at least. But everyone did. He was massive.
Well, if you blurred your eyes, when he went after Ken Shamrock outside, if you blur your eyes, and you make your eyes blurry, you would think because of the lighting and everything, you go, oh, that's Triple H. Like just the build. It's like, that's Triple H. It's 2001 Triple H, and you realize, no, that's Val Venus because of the stupid trunks he was wearing. But you're right. The build he had was not what mid carders have today. And don't get me started. I saw a thing on AEW recently with these freaking goofballs and Osprey and Moxley, and I don't know if you saw. I was gonna send it to you. Oh, I can't. I just don't understand how people like that shit.
Relax. It's the best thing on TV right now, brother.
What?
It is.
No,
their main event scene is the best thing on TV right now, and it is horrible. Their main event scene is the best thing. Their main event scene is the best story going on in wrestling right now, and it's horrible. Anyway,
tag match was terrible.
Anyway, back to this. Back to WrestleMania 15, brother.
Sorry, go
We
ahead.
come to the rundown on Thursday. Come down to, Fridays at noon. Come down to the rundown next week, brother. We'll talk about it. Anyways, yeah, Val Venus. Yes, he had mega heat backstage. He was a Vince Russo character. It looked like I don't know about that, but it just looks like he is. But he had major heat, so he wasn't winning this. Major heat because sponsors weren't liking his act. He was a porn star, of course, and he was rubbing a lot of people the wrong way at the back of that time.
Not
In
Maria,
this period,
apparently.
yeah.
Very attractive.
Venus.
There you go.
I mean,
All
hello,
right.
ladies.
Hello.
Goldust was safe. Like, he was safe, so they just threw him in there because he could, and he was a bizarre character. But Shamrock, he was supposed to be the guy, but he was about to go back to MMA at this time, and they didn't want to put a title on him, thinking he could leave and maybe hold the company hostage or whatever the case may be. So they just put Road Dogg there because he was safe and over. Dude, when Road Dogg was doing the shake, rattle, and roll in all of his signature moves, was there a bigger pop other than Austin and Rock? I'm being serious. When he was doing his shake, rattle, and roll and everything that Road Dogg usually does,
Yes.
was there a bigger pop
Look
other
at the
than
crowd again? I was on mute, and you just watch the crowd, watch what they were doing, and that tells you how over he was with the audience. I mean, it was loud without being loud. So you're right on.
There was a bigger pop, actually. I'm sorry. The biggest pop of the night probably is coming soon. We'll talk about that match later, I think. What's next? It is here. It's here. The biggest pop of the night literally was this match.
Kane versus Triple H.
Yes.
No title on the line. This was for they had a drama going on with China where Kane fireballed her in the face and on accident. He felt, we started seeing an emotional Kane. They talked about that, how, the Big Red Machine has been more emotional as of late with China. And so he's taken on Triple H. Triple H flamed Kane as posing as Goldust. So we get this match. And again, I just have to, again, you see these two guys who are the future of, Triple H as we get closer and closer to what he's supposed to be as the game. It's just interesting to see how that character grows and what we see in a few matches after this. They kind of take that big turn. But this match, I enjoyed it, man. I'll tell you what, Kane, damn, like the way he sold for Triple H and, into the step, like, I mean, this was like, I don't remember. Kane was one of my favorite characters in wrestling with the Undertaker back in WWF when I was paying attention to WWF, or even like, it was like, oh man, Undertaker and Kane. Kane was so badass to me. I just love the monsters, and Undertaker coming out the way he came out in this show. And it's like, that was the ones I remember. That's the cool. I mean, but he worked so damn well in this match. And, and again, wearing a mask, wearing a freaking mask. You don't see his face, but my God, can he tell a story? My God, can you sense what's going on under that, man? Like, again, not gonna get in this rant, and forgive me for those who are like, he tells more story under a mask than any of those goofballs over at that other company. I'm just saying. I mean, it's horrible. I mean, so I'm like, this was a fun match. And then you add in China. China comes out and she slides in the steps. Then she goes around, brings in the chair. She tells Kane, I'm going to hit him with the chair, Paul Heyman style. Kane lets her in. He turns his back, gets hit. He doesn't even react. Turns around, kind of more brokenhearted, kind of like, what are you doing? And Triple H hits him with the chair, and that's when it's the finish. And Kane always did that pedigree that way. He always put his knee down. So it's like, this, and China and Triple H have their embrace in the ring. Kane loses the match, and disqualification. Kane won the match. But China and Triple H are reunited. Big embrace in the ring, and Kane is just devastated. They run out before Kane could get up and take him out. But again, I enjoyed this match, and I enjoy seeing China every time. She's so damn good with what she does. She was a legitimate tough guy in the ring as woman wrestler. Like, watching her, it's like, it's just really cool to see and watch her grow and form in the way she did and what she grows into, the first Intercontinental champion, all this whatnot for women, and just really cool to see her. But I love this story. I loved it. I love where this goes because we know what comes at the European Championship match. But before we get there, what are your thoughts on this match with Kane versus Triple H?
Yeah, this was the biggest pop of the night when Kane got betrayed and when China Kane wanted that. Dude,
Yeah.
Kane was great. Kane was great in this. You saw the emotion and we saw story, and this had the most story of any other match in this whole entire WrestleMania card because they were fighting over a woman. Really, like that's the most common.
Yeah.
Like think about it. Like you're fighting over a woman. And in this part, China was the woman, and it was Vince Russo's idea. And it's hard for me to say this right now, but it was a good freaking angle. I didn't see it coming. I didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't watch WWF at the time. Jericho's not there yet, so I had no reason to watch WWF at the time. So I didn't see this was the angle where I didn't know this any of this was going to happen. So I popped. I was like, "Oh shoot!" And at the time when I was watching this last night, because I watched this whole thing last night in continuity, one shot, which I rarely do. I was like, "Oh, Kane's the babyface now." And we hate Triple H in China, but whenever China jumped in Triple H, everyone popped. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Kane's the one who's in love and just got betrayed. We should be feeling sorry for Kane, not Triple H in China. But maybe that's because I know the future and where this goes. But I guess at the time, those fans are like, "Oh, Triple H." But I'm thinking this is a heel turn right here. Like this is the heel turn. This is a double turn in my opinion, but it wasn't. It was a babyface turn, which they turn heel later. Yeah, Kane did a dive.
Yes.
He did. I don't think I've seen many of those from Kane. It didn't look good, but it was effective. This was a fast match. Every match was fast in this era. It's a Vince Russo era. Every match was like 8 minutes, I feel like. All of them. Just want to give you backstage information on this. This was a Vince Russo idea. Vince wanted this whole thing to happen. Triple H was gaining trust with Vince at the time. He was dating Stephanie, or they were talking at the time. China didn't want it. China wanted DX to stay. China didn't want change. She was new to the business, though, somewhat semi-new, right? She's China. She wasn't like a Triple H, a student of the game. So she wanted to work with them. She wanted to work with Road Dogg and Triple H and be a family forever. But that obviously did not work out. Road Dogg and DX, how do they feel about it? They understood business. They were friends with Triple H. They understood business. But they all probably knew that their run was coming to an end because without Triple H in China, who are they? They're the New Age Outlaws, and the 1, 2, 3 kid. So I don't know, man. Like it felt like wrestling at that time was corporation, DX, or the ministry, and you got to be part of one of them.
You know, every time I heard that, every time the commentator, the announcer in the ring, representing, the corporation, Kane, representing the ministry, the Undertaker, representing D-Generation X, Triple H, or whatever, X-Pac, because I understood DX was back then, and I knew the corporate ministry, the corporation, but I was just thinking how WCW was back in the day. It's like representing the NWO, representing the Wolfpack, representing the Flock, representing LWO, representing the WCW. It's like, my gosh, okay, we get it. Everybody's a part of a group. So to me, this was new for WWF. I didn't know WWF was really like that too much, but it was. Everybody was a part of a group back then. Nobody was really a part of themselves. Test was a part of the corporation, so it's just interesting. Big show at that point. So I hear you. Yeah. Pain.
We're about to go into the Sable match, but quick transition. Where are the WWE Rager parties at? Raging. Where are these? Ragers. I want to go. That looks like fun. Everyone was right? Man was
dancing, and people were going nuts. Austin was there. It looked like, but WWF used to do that. I remember WWF New York. I always wanted to go to WWF New York. I remember that, hearing about that and seeing that. I mean, now it's nothing. It's like whatever.
Big pun. I didn't realize. I wish somebody got you help, man. Like, seriously, because I liked Big Pun back in the day. I didn't realize I was a kid. I didn't understand
he's the
massive
DJ or whatever
man.
It was.
Yeah. Massive dude. Someone should have got that guy help. He had enough money. But it was funny seeing all these Isaac Hayes, he was singing the South Park song. It's just a time vault of my 6th grade. That had to be 6th grade. What year was this? 1999. I was literally heading into high school in 2000. Stupid. Anyway, Sable and Tori.
So I'm going to say this, again, Sable for WWF purposes, obviously we know this. You didn't have to know WWF back then to know that she was on top, in regards to the women's division. And, again, talk about sex appeal. We talk about the hip thrusting and spinning and what she kept doing. But I'm going to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised with the way this match was done up. Tori did a very good job wrestling, and she did enough for Sable to look good. Sable didn't look too raw in the ring. The powerbomb didn't look great. It was supposed to be that reverse powerbomb that Tori came back from. That was a big F up with whatever. I forgot that big chick's name when the referee took the bump, which I hate referee bumps.
I got Nicole Bass's name. Nicole Bass was an American bodybuilder, actress, professional wrestler known for her immense size and muscular physique. She was on the Howard Stern show, and she passed away in 2017. After this, she feuded with Deborah, aligned with Val Venus, and briefly worked with Ivory. I had no idea who this person was. I had to look her up.
I knew of Nicole Bass. I remember seeing her. I've never seen her. I remember seeing her. I just don't know how she introduced herself, but this was how she introduced herself. But I'll just say this again. I know we could criticize the hips and all this whatnot too much and whatever, but I don't ever remember women's wrestling being like that back then. Of course, especially during the Ruthless Aggression era when you have, or later, the bra and panty matches, which we have here and all this. For WrestleMania, this was not a bad match for women's wrestling at that point in time compared to what it is now. You're getting bangers, depending on if it's Mercedes Moné, Willow, Toni Storm, and talking about AEW, WWE, Charlotte and Becky, and those girls these girls can't touch what the wrestlers of today can. But for this era, I was really surprised how they put together this match. I thought this was a good match for that era, if that makes sense.
I'm just going to say right here, you're doing a good job trying to defend these women, but it sucked. Shouldn't have been on the card. They did a spot where I always still, even to this day, I get nervous when they do the whole pinning spot. She pins her. They do a bridge and they kind of work together. They totally botched that moment. It was awful. The powerbomb was awful. This match was awful. I'm glad it was over. I don't need 5 minutes. Who's this for?
The male audience.
I'm the male audience. I'm a male audience.
Yeah,
I am a male audience.
You are the minority of male audiences. You're not, you're the minority. It's I even see them. They're valets. They're valets.
I'm here with Adrian, man. I'm here for the bra and panty matches. Where are those? I don't think we're gonna get one of those in WrestleMania, but still.
Well, either way, for me, I think this was for them that I remember Sable and Tori, but Tori looked better obviously in the ring than Sable looked more natural in there. I think they did a good job for that. Those two. So
if my son drew me a picture, right here. Son drew me this picture when he was 5. Right?
Okay.
Squirtle. You guys probably can't see it.
Yeah, we can see it. Looks great.
Now listen. This is what you're describing. It looks good for a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, whatever. But it's not good. It's not good. It doesn't mean I need to have this. I only
you can't compare this era
but don't
to
just
what
say
today is.
But just don't say oh yeah, it was good. No, we had other people probably left off this card, or some matches could have went longer. This was a waste of my time.
There was no woman who should be on the card.
The crowd was crickets, brother. Did you have the volume turned up on this one?
No, I didn't know.
Crickets. Nobody cared. It was literally crickets. Nobody cared. Sable was not Sable from the year prior to now.
I think China should have been in a match. I would rather see China wrestling than these two. But
I want everyone to understand WrestleMania 14 to 15. Sable was up here. In this match, she might have been a champion and had a match, but her reaction, it was bad, dude. People stopped caring.
Yeah. Next one though is next one is a fun match though. Shane McMahon, accompanied by Tess, representing the corporation, taking on X-Pac. Shane, this was his first match at WrestleMania. Athletic. Jumps over X-Pac. X-Pac. We can't talk enough about X-Pac in the ring. He's just really good. It was okay. This match was okay. But the match itself was not the story. The story was the turn. China comes out, interrupts the pinfall for Shane McMahon. I mean, for X-Pac. X-Pac had the the Bronco Buster. No, not the Bronco Buster. What's it? My brother's move. He likes
X Factor.
The X Factor. Remember, my brother says, "Oh, that's my favorite." You're like, that move sucks. I was like, "Damn."
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but like the Bronco Buster and the X Factor, like that's a Stacy Keibler.
Now it is. Yeah, but he actually did it. I'll tell you more about it. But anyway,
he did the X Factor.
He did the X Factor. Yeah, so he does it. Yeah. So anyway, X-Pac does the X Factor, takes the pin. China comes in, interrupts the referee, grabs the referee. X-Pac, what are you doing? Here comes Triple H, pedigrees X-Pac. The crowd goes nuts. Here's the big turn. DX turns on X-Pac, turn on Triple H just turn on DX and join the corporation here. Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, Shane wins. Here comes Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, and they get laid out. Love it. I love it.
Love it.
They did it so freaking well, man. And I mean, Triple H, and I can understand China, what you brought up behind the scenes. Like, she wanted everything to stay the same. She was about friends. She was about family. She enjoyed the relationships. We know what happens in a little, down the line here, which really sucks, and I mean, it messes up her story in the WWF forever. Like, she should be in the Hall of Fame by herself. Should never have left the WWF. Vince McMahon's an idiot. Trevor, that's a whole other story. I think it's the biggest, stupidest thing, what they did. She got punished for Triple H and Stephanie being stupid, but whatever. They're happily married. God bless. But anyway, as much as I understand she wanted to remain this is why you do this. What sucks for her, she gets left in the dust eventually. And so because this is supposed to be her and Triple H leaving together and ruling everything, joining the corporation. But eventually, of course, Stephanie comes into play and China's on her own. Of course, we get Latino heat and everything else. But if they would have followed it, we don't know what it would have turned into. That's a what if. But the finish of this match, the turn, came out perfect. And that's why China was as great as she was. It's believable she can hold down a referee. Believable she can kick your ass. Triple H doing what Triple H does best. I mean, turning his back on people and betraying and everything is like, that's classic Hunter Hearst Helmsley. So I loved it. I liked the match. I love the finish. I love the turn.
Shane does what Shane does. Always puts on a good show, whether you like him or not, whether the talent behind the scenes likes him or not. He does. The crowd pops for Shane. My, I guess, one of my biggest things about wrestling I used to love as a young teenager, the custom shirts. And it was always Shane. What's Shane going to wear? Because he always makes his custom shirts of who he's feuding with. And this one was a DX jersey with 1, 2, 3 Punk and has a bunch of logos on it that kind of like take shots at DX. And they did that with Austin. They do that with everybody who they're feuding with, the McMahons or especially Shane. I love that stuff. I miss it. This was a nostalgia match for me. Like, oh man, I can't wait to see Shane try to go through the glass or whatever that LED board is again with Kurt Angle or whatever that match was. Like, oh, I can't wait to see more of Shane doing stupid things down the road. I don't know if that Kane or if that Shane match was on WrestleMania or not.
It's King of the Ring, right? Or back
King of the Ring. It
was
one of those. But either way,
yeah.
I love seeing Shane in matches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like seeing the Mean Street Posse at all, ever. But I like seeing Shane McMahon. And this is a young Shane McMahon. And he got to wrestle against X-Pac. And X-Pac is a guy that we all love. He showed off his quick feet and his movements. His moveset sucks. Bronco Buster and X-Factor, I stand by that. But be that as it may, perfect situation. It was believable that Shane could beat him because he was tiny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's believable. So that's why this match was super cool to me. But you're right. This was all for the angle. This was for the move.
Next, we get the infamous Hell in the Cell match. Undertaker taking on Big Boss Man. The most memorable things about this match for me, and I'll let you take it again, Undertaker's entrance. Undertaker corporate. I mean, the Ministry of Darkness Undertaker to me was the best version, other than, I enjoy the American Badass, but I love that this Taker. He's creepy as he really exudes like Ministry of Darkness. Like that was the scariest. And I never got scared of, the dungs and the hat and everything else. This Undertaker was like, when you heard those bells and you saw him come out with that music, not the classic music, the music where the corporate ministry or the Ministry of Darkness theme, that's creepy as hell. Like, and Paul Bearer with pitch black hair. I mean, the lights there is like, it's like, that is fucking, that's cinema. Kane is cinema. these guys are cinema, man. And so that's memorable. And of course, the infamous hanging at the end. That's the only thing I could remember about this match. Nothing else is memorable about it. In my opinion, I don't really think much. That's actually a Dark Side of the Ring on Big Boss Man that I'm gonna watch. I just saw it come out. So I plan to watch that. But yeah, this match here, there's not much memorable other than the entrance and the finish, hanging him with the Brood coming down from the ceiling and thin on rope. And I mean, imagine the confusion of the fans seeing that, wondering like, what did we just witness? Like, there is some stuff that they did. Like, you looking back now, like, look, like if you think about it, it's like, damn, how did they do that? That's messed up. But at the same time, you're like, that's so stupid. Like, that's so unnecessary. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe Justin or Maria or whomever, they could say, oh man, it worked, man. We were like, whoa. But like, for me, like, I knew of it. I saw it. I remember going, damn, but like watching it again and watching it now, like, and I'm seeing the audience, like, you're doing it at WrestleMania. It's ugly. I don't know. It didn't do it for me, but it's the most memorable thing, but it's infamous. It's not memorable in a good way. Josh, am I out of line here?
No, you're not out of line. To me, when I was a young child, I was looking at this and going, who's the big boss man? Why is this happening? And as I grow fonder and older of wrestling, I still have the same question of, why was this big boss man? He wasn't big enough for this angle. And he was just, to me, a jobber, like a job guy. Like, who cares? Hang him. Like, that's what what I meant by that is, like, you're rooting for Undertaker to do Undertaker things. It's not like, oh no, save him. But I understand the corporation, but they were both bad guys, in my opinion, right? Corporate,
yeah,
and ministry, they're both bad guys. So like,
corporation,
it's kind of weird. But if it was someone like a bigger star, I think it would have got talked about more, and probably would have got a better reaction or a different reaction, I would say. Again, whose idea do you think this was? Vince Russo, bro. It's a Vince Russo thing, and everybody hated it. Vince hated it. Undertaker's on record saying it was one of the worst angles. Boss Man was on record saying he hated it. Bruce Pritchard hated it. Jim Ross hated it. Everybody hated it. Literally everybody hated it. But they wanted something dark and edgy at that time, and they wanted to show how ruthless the corporation and the ministry feud was, and they wanted to show that they would kill someone on live TV to prove their point. It didn't work. Not in that time. I don't think it was good. And the match sucked. I'm sitting there going, oh, Hell in a Cell back in the day. This isn't going to be Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt. This isn't going to be some random Hell in a Cell match just because they want to have one in October. No, this is going to be a real good match. And it wasn't. It was so boring. Mm-hmm. This might have been the most boring match. And again, you might have a different thought. You guys in the chat, you, Bobby, anyone else watching this later on. I have still not been impressed with any Undertaker match at WrestleMania. Still. I don't care. I don't care about any of them. His Kane match was probably the most intriguing one. Because it was
yeah,
Kane.
No, that was the best story. That's the one that you care about. The best match for me that was put on wasn't even the Kane Undertaker match. It was Diesel Undertaker. But I'm with you. None of these matches so far with Undertaker are like, wow, the Phenom. It's so like his character is magnificent. But these matches, none of them are like, this was like what we remember Undertaker by if you're watching Ruthless Aggression and everything else, but I'm with you. I think this best match so far that we've watched would be Diesel Undertaker main event, right? What wasn't the main event? I'm sorry. It was the championship match. That was his best match. His Diesel and him worked really well together. Kane and Taker were the best story. Other than that, no, this was a total flop. It was
a flop, but hey, they tried something new and it didn't work.
That's okay. It's wrestling. Do it. Going back, I just saw this. That's me with a bald fraud. Julia with Triple H. That's pretty funny. And Haku is back. Sorry, just gotta throw out there. Haku showed up. I love that. I popped for that. For SmackDown, he's at managing MFT. So that's really cool. But anyway, WWF Championship main event, the first of the legendary trilogy between Rock. At WrestleMania between Rock and Austin, Stone Cold taking on The Rock. And of course, it's supposed to be Vince McMahon refereeing the match. He comes out, he's not even wearing a referee shirt. He's wearing a cut up sweater. Mm-hmm. And here comes Shawn Michaels. Michaels changes it up. Nope. and then of course, who finishes the match is Mankind. Austin goes over. I just love the stunners done by Rock and Austin. These two, great chemistry. They two completely different style guys, two different personalities, but they work so well together. And Rock does so well making Austin look good, and Austin does so well making Rock look good, as badass as Austin was back then. And even Rock losing this match comes off looking really good. He drops the title to Austin. The stunners, even though it's so ridiculous, it's an oversell. Nobody does the stunner better than The Rock. Austin goes over. McMahon's pissed. It's, Austin, it's a, I want to bring this up too. Now that I totally forgot Kane. Now I'm thinking of Kane. I just thought of this. My brain's all over the place. Pete Rose. That is so stupid. I was like, when he came out, first of all, the ref or the boxer who knocks him out, and then he comes out and he attacks Kane from behind. I'm like, this is so stupid. And then when I found it's Pete Rose and it gets tombstone, but Pete Rose really needed money, man. I mean, I feel, and that must have been the case, I think. I don't know, but is what it is. Going back though, main event, legendary feud, great match, great chemistry. The finish that's supposed to be McMahon landing on his back, Austin going over. I mean, they found their guy, right? I mean, we've seen every WrestleMania now up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
And, you could love him or hate him. You could be on either side of the aisle with Hogan, right? But if you watch WrestleMania 1 through WrestleMania 9, and you at the point you're like, man, who are they going to give it to? They got to give the ball to somebody else. Hogan leaves. WrestleMania 10 to WrestleMania 14 or 13. Well, I think that's what it was. Forgive me.
Yep.
Lame duck. You were the first one to say, you're like, they're missing they're missing Hulk Hogan. I said, they're missing a Hogan. They're missing that superstar. They got their guy in Stone Cold Steve Austin. They finally found, and of course that happened a little in the last WrestleMania, the WrestleMania before. They finally found their guy, and this is why Austin is in that tier. That's why him and Austin, and people say Austin's the greatest of all time, which is fair to say if you're having that debate about WWE superstars, right? Oh, Hogan, Austin, you can say who's the best. People say Austin. You can't argue that. Austin merchandise sales, and you hear the pops and you see the way he carried. He had a shorter career, which really sucks if you think about it. He didn't have that long of a career, which is crazy to think because you go, oh, Austin was a long time. No, Hogan had a longer career because Hogan didn't left, but Hogan, for whatever reason, his body broke down later and broke down bad. Austin was like, oh, I'm done. I can't. He felt so. But watching this, right here, like this is why it happens. This is the turn. Now it's already turned, right? We're getting to WrestleMania. We're getting to 2000. We know 2000 WCW is the basement of WCW. And so it's coming towards the end but you're seeing why, because if you're watching this WrestleMania and you're seeing these characters and you're even the ones you're going to criticize, the Sable, and you see the Stone Colds and the Rocks, and you're like, if you look at WCW, then they didn't have that. Goldberg had lived past that point. Eventually Jeff Jarrett's going to be their main event guy. Jeff Jarrett's still here. I think this is the last, maybe not. Maybe Jeff Jarrett stays for WrestleMania 2000. I don't know. We'll see next week. But if you're seeing Austin and Rock and Triple H, and you go and compare to WCW, they didn't have those guys to carry over. So that's it's so cool to see how that transition happens and to realize yes, you need that main attraction. That's why Roman Reigns loses the belt to Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns goes away. He has to come back. And he's the main story again. Everybody pays attention. Roman Reigns, we're watching. That's what that is. You can say, oh man, they got to take the title off. They got to put it on somebody else. Well, they did. And nobody cared. They got bored. They rather see Roman Reigns and the bloodline. They rather see Stone Cold Steve Austin. They rather see Hulk Hogan. They rather see John Cena. As much as the people want to say they don't. That's why. So enough of the rant. Your thoughts on this match, your thoughts on the finish and the wrap up of this WrestleMania.
I can't believe we almost didn't get this match. I can't believe it was a late February.
Thank you.
It was a late February change or January change to this match. It was supposed to be Mankind and Austin. Literally, it was supposed to be Mankind Austin. Remember, Rock beat Mankind because Vince said, "Oh no, we got a star here on the Rock." So that's why this match happened. Again, Rock was supposed to be fighting Triple H still, and Mankind was supposed to be fighting Austin for the title, but everything changed for the good. So every time you guys think, like when people say things happen for a reason, this is a prime example of why this happened. It happened for a reason. The two goats, as Adrian said, not my two goats, but it's okay. I understand that they are goats. Vince Russo almost ruined this match. Vince Russo, obviously,
Shocker, brother.
So basically, they had options of who was going to win this match. They had option A, option B, and option C, and they changed in February, late February, and then early March. Option A was Rock retains with help from the corporation. Austin shut it down. WrestleMania is where baby faces win, brother.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah.
There it is.
Option B, late February. Mankind was supposed to cost The Rock the match. Austin said, no, I don't want any interference. Third option, Austin wins clean, but Rock attacks him afterwards. Rock said, no, it makes me look weak. It makes Austin look weak. Stupid. Final decision was what we got. It was approved by Vince, Austin, Rock, Patterson, and Briscoe. Vince Russo was not involved in this match. They took him out. So basically, Austin and Rock planned everything. All the bumps, all the spots, all the run-ins, all the ref bumps, everything. There was limited agents, according to reports. They wanted this match to be their own. They wanted it to look like a real fight, Austin said. And Rock said, no, we're going to make this entertaining. And what they came into was an entertaining, realistic fight. Where Russo wanted run-ins, Russo wanted Shane McMahon, Russo wanted Vince, Russo wanted a F finish with Rock retaining. Austin said no. He told Russo, a quote, no bullshit. I'm walking out with the belt. He told Russo that. That's when Russo was pretty much taking off the match. So how are we in 2026 and still talking about how Russo should have a job and people still think he's good? How are we in 2026 and this is happening? At his peak, he sucked. At Russo's peak, it was terrible. So basically, I love this match. But Austin was also injured coming into this. That's why it was a semi-short match. By the way, can we just say something about this match? Do you have the times? I don't have the times. I didn't look.
I don't have that. Give me a second. Let me see if I have them on my notes. Hold on.
Because while you're looking that up, I want to just say something just overall in 2026 where every match, because I wanted to watch Redemption. I want to watch All In. I'm going to buy All In. I'm going to watch SummerSlam tonight. Not every match needs to be 20 to 25 minutes to 30 minutes, man. Like it wears you out. It wears me out as a viewer to know, man, this is going to be a 30-minute match. I better get settled in, brother. Because, and then guess what? After that, I get another 30-minute match to watch. That's exhausting. Give me 8 to 12-minute matches and then sprinkle in those 20 to 25-minute matches. Does everyone understand that? We need the ebb and flows. If everything is just the Odyssey, I'm out, man. Like I'm out. So I liked the pacing of this card because you had the 8-minute matches and you had the 20-minute matches. You had both.
Yeah, the longest match was this match. It was 16 minutes long, about 16, almost 17 minutes long. Second one was Kane and Triple H, 11 minutes long. So the majority of them ended, 9, 8, 7, 9, 6. Of course, 35 seconds was a minute. So yeah, it was. I agree with you. That's the thing, though. See, a 30-minute match should, it starts off slow pace, traditional wrestling, and then you do the bigger moves, then you do the shocking moves, and when it gets closer towards the end, and that's when you get entertained, because it gives you that, oh, here comes the match. Okay, now you're not doing a bunch of finishers at the start and everything else, like a certain stupid program. But I know where you're going. I know you're meant to say that. That's what you were talking about. Yell at me. You got me stopping earlier, but you're gonna throw shots, and I can't. But it's cool. It's cool.
I didn't throw any shots. What are you talking about? Did I throw shots?
What's up, Luigi? So it's like Luigi 20, 30 minutes match. Plus, yeah, it is exhausting. There you go. 100%. Don't buy it, brother. I got a site for you. There you go.
Stephanie told me I can get a VPN. You know what? I can't believe it's 2026 and I don't have a VPN. Like, I can't believe I haven't done that yet.
I got a thing, an app through Alex says I'm able to watch things. Yeah, I have ESPN, but in regards of AEW, that's how I watched the last one, at least half of it or part of it. I'm gonna send you the clip that I saw because that just grinds my gears.
Of the tag team match?
Is it? You know what I'm talking about? Do you?
The trios match?
I don't know if it was trios. No, it was Ospreay and
in Moxley versus the Bucks.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't watch one highlight of that match. I didn't watch one.
It's
highlight.
Terrible. I saw one and I have no interest.
Let me guess.
I'm going to say this right here. I'm going to say it. I've tried. He's fun in the video game when I download him as a KW, a call wrestler, created wrestler. But I've tried watching his matches. Overrated.
Who?
Ospreay. He's overrated. He's terrible.
We're not doing this again.
He's terrible.
We're not doing this on the WrestleMania.
Freaking overrated. He's overrated, dude. Oh my God.
Bro.
And then the Young Bucks, like, man, I heard so much about the Young Bucks, and every time I watch them, God, they suck. They suck. They suck. People are lying to themselves. Like, you can tell me about. I know Mercedes Moné is great. She's great, and she's gotten so much better. Yeah. She's gotten so much better as time goes on. I could joke all I want, but like, I've tried. I've watched Moneyball versus Will Ospreay and Impact.
Moneyball. Who's Moneyball?
Mike Ball, right?
You watching Brad Pitt?
No.
Speedball. Speedball, brother.
Mike Bailey. Who's Moneyball? I don't fucking know. Some guy he wrestled in a gym somewhere. 5-star matches, Meltzer. But like, oh God, what a terrible. How dare you about it? Justin, forgive me, brother. Yeah, Cornball, forgive me, brother. Speedball. You can't cut a promo.
You know what? Enjoy your Danhausen, guys. You know what? Enjoy your Danhausen.
I'm not saying, brother.
I'm not a Speedball Mike Bailey fan either. I'm not. But
I'm sorry, dude. Like, Will Ospreay's the best in-ring professional. He's not a wrestler. He's a gymnast. How do you take those and you jump right back up and you do it and there's a super kick and like, God dang it, dude. Like, I can't watch your match because it's just terrible. And you can't cut a promo. You're cringy on the microphone. You look like a 5th grader or a middle schooler who hasn't hit puberty yet. And you can't wrestle. You're you're a gymnast. Oh, but you're great because Milton says you're 5 stars. Kiss my ass, bro. It's terrible. No. He's overrated. If he went to WWE, maybe they would teach him how to actually, do it right. But I don't know, dude. Listen, that's a certain flavor I can't get into.
Listen,
I know. I agree,
like sprinkles. Justin. Some people like sprinkles on their ice cream. Some people just want to be vanilla plain. I like sprinkles sometimes.
Oh, you're full of crap. It's like, come on, bro.
I enjoy the moves. And sometimes and then again, we're going to wrap this up. This is not the AEW hour, and SummerSlam is happening tonight. I will be on live tonight with the Rainy Day Pod with Adrian, so I'll give my SummerSlam reactions right afterwards. I cannot wait. But I want to say this. Sometimes I want to watch The Expendables. Sometimes I want to watch Back to the Future. Sometimes I want to watch a documentary. But I'm in my mindset, and I've said this on the AEW rundown. I have to put myself into an AEW mindset when I watch the show. Because I have to understand that everyone's on an equal playing view and everyone's a superhero. I have to do that because it's a television show. Now watch WWE, I have to get my WWE mindset. Everyone's going to talk forever. Everyone's going to take 10 minutes to get to the ring, and they're going to have 5-minute matches. You have to put yourself in a mindset to watch when I go play Mario, I'm not getting in a Modern Warfare Fortnite mindset. I'm getting into a Mario mindset. So you know what, Bobby, and everyone else watching this, you sickos, give it a chance. Stop being so judgmental. Not everything's perfect.
I do give it a
but
chance.
Guess what? I believe you are cursed is worse than anything that you've seen on any show ever in the past 2 years. On any professional wrestling show. So if you want to talk about bad, start there. And I'm not a tribalistic guy. You know I watch both.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't say we're going to watch Danhausen on a pole match this weekend.
I ain't watching that. I don't care about Danhausen. Do you know who does care about Danhausen? ESPN and the NBA. That's what he couldn't do that in AEW because nobody really pays attention to that shit. He goes to WWE. He says the Knicks, the Spurs are cursed. What happens? They win. Now he's the hottest thing, not in WWE. You could say that all you want. Oh, you could watch WWE Danhausen, but guess what? The whole world is watching Danhausen, and that only happened in the WWE. Listen, you want to watch WWE's like Jurassic World, like you go theater, like like some movies you can complain, right? Star Wars. Oh man, I'm gonna go see Star Wars, and you're like, man, it's the same story, dude. Like they ran it back, but you'd rather go see Star Wars than go to online to Temu or whatever channel and watch on and click on some Star Wars bootleg, Star Cracker or something. Click on that, watch, and oh, that's AEW. It's the made for TV version of Star Wars. Star Wars is WWE, made for TV is AEW. 30-minute matches. That's AEW. They do 30-minute matches, but it's all big ass moves. What's the point? When do I know this is going to finish? When am I supposed to pop? Like, what's the point? Like, it's like you're not. It's lame, dude. It's lame. Like I could watch. I've watched. I mean, I've given it a shot. Don't say I haven't. I've shown you evidence that I have. But like every time I see Ospreay, I've turned on Ospreay. God, he's overrated, dude. Like I just don't get it. If you love the jumps every star and I can tell you what an Ospreay match is. And and every in the front row, the sickos. But real, like what was that? Now I'm supposed to believe that minute match, that move is going to beat you later. The Mexican Destroyer or the super kick or the 450 splash off the top or all those moves. You do it later. Oh, 1, 2, 3, it wins. How did that beat you? But before you just jumped up like it was nothing. You did not even react. Mexican Destroyer, you jumped right up.
So you want to see, and then don't get me wrong, and we're going to close out the show because
Spaceballs. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I love Spaceballs.
So you can't wait for the 15-minute walking and talking when Roman's beating up Seth this weekend, Sunday night, and he's beating up Seth, punches him in the face. You aren't on my level. I'm the tribal chief. You ain't on my level. 5 minutes go by, slaps him in the face again. Can't get none of this, boy. Like that's all Roman does. He doesn't even wrestle. He just walks and talks and talks.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Yeah, maybe for the first 15, maybe for the first 10 to 15 minutes. Maybe the first 10 to 15 minutes he's doing that because he's building a story. It's personal. Him and Seth have a story. They started as brothers. Now they turn on each other. They're not going to bunch of duo. Oh, let me start off real hot. Spear. Seth jumps up. Oh, curb stop. Roman gets up. Oh my God, no selling the big moves. No, you build the story up. You're building this match. Oh, the hatred. They're talking shit to each other. They're fighting. They're going at it. Oh, now as the match gets into the 10-minute mark, the 10 to 15 minute mark, now we're going to start getting hot. Now we're going to start going crazy. Now we're going to do the cool moves. Yes, you're damn right. I'd rather see a story told in the ring and then the big moves that I'm going to go, there it is. Spear, 1, 2, kick out. Oh, big spear again. 1, 2, 3, win. Oh, now it means something. But you don't start the match with a spear. You don't start the match with a curb stomp. You don't start the match with a stupid pedigree. You build up to it. Yes, acknowledge the tribal chief. Acknowledge him.
Put your ones up in the chat if you want to see Bobby and I cover All In. Ones up in the chat if you want to see Bobby and myself cover All In. If we get at least 5. That's all we need. 5 ones up.
Just
we're doing it.
5 ones, right? That's hilarious, bro. Oh man, I will watch it live on the show. Yeah. I'll do it live, bro.
Yeah, I'm not doing a watch long.
All 4 hours.
That takes too long. I get exhausted.
You're damn right. You know what? Because it's AEW. It's AEW, and then you'll hear me for 4 hours going, "What the fuck was that, dude?" You're like, you try to explain.
Hey. Maria, Justin, if you're there, one's in the chat if you all want to see us all in because it's going to happen because Bobby's fired. Bobby is so fired up about this. Bobby is hyped. He wants y'all to know that he watches so much AEW, but he doesn't like it. Maria said I'm the most negative person because on the rundown I was semi-negative. I'm giving AEW props. I think it's the best wrestling show on television right now.
Don't call it wrestling.
I just wish you just.
It's not wrestling, bro. It's not wrestling. It's not wrestling.
The story between Will Ospreay and Kenny started off weak. It's going somewhere.
No.
You got 2 main event titles tonight, not tonight, but the weekend, where it's Cody and Punk and they just love each other and want to jerk each other off. And then you got Seth and Roman. Oh, I love you. Oh, I got to beat you to prove myself. At least there's heat in Ospreay and Kenny. There's no heat between Cody and Seth. There's no heat between Seth and Roman. And it's going to be the same things. We've already seen these matches. It's going to happen the same way. 1, 2, 3, Roman wins. And then the other one, we're going to see 1, 2, 3, CM Punk wins. Simple as that. There's no drama. Where in AEW, we don't know what's going to happen because they have stories.
They don't even know what's going to happen. They just go, what are you going to, hey, who do you want to wrestle tonight? I want to wrestle this. Let's go with a random title match tonight. Andrade versus some high school freak and some other guy. Let's go with this. Like, please. Let's,
A love story.
Yeah.
You know what? Can we get one? I'm going to say this on your show, Adrian. Can we get one Cody story? One, just one, where we don't bring up Dusty. Can we get one? Because that's their crutch. That's all they can do. Can we take shots at Brandy? Can we take shots at anything else? Why is it always Dusty? I'm over it, man. Boring.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. Again, I just want to see. This is true.
Yeah,
it's
it's
true.
true.
You can't compare them. You can't. But
Yeah.
I was just throwing a point out there, Luigi. I hear so much all the time about Will Ospreay. Well, and I try. And that was my point. We just went into another tirade, but appreciate you watching, Luigi. I really do. And Adrian says, thank you, Bobby. No, thank you, Adrian. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to watching your show tonight.
It's going to be
Can't miss for those watching in the comments right now. Almost 50 people watching live. Just tune in to the 2 Raw for SmackDown on the Rainy Day podcast tonight. You have Josh Kimmel there. You're going to have Adrian Rainey. You got Talking Game Tony on there. I think Sean and Frankie possibly. Probably a full-time crew. So
late night Josh.
Justin.
Not just Josh. Late
night Josh. You don't know what you're going to get.
You know how Finn Balor turns into the Demon Brother? Yeah, that's the kind of Josh you're going to get tonight, guys.
There you go. I want the face paint. Steal the wife's makeup, put some face paint on you. But anyway, guys, I'm sorry I wrapped up this way. No, I don't. It was fun. It's fun. I'm not sorry. That's what it is. But thank you for tuning in here on your SummerSlam Saturday for WrestleMania 15 Rewind here on the No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, subscribe. If you're watching this on FTSN, subscribe. If you're watching this on No Holds Barred Wrestling channel, subscribe. Again, don't forget, you got the Rainy Day podcast or 2 Raw for SmackDown podcast later today on the on the Rainy Day pod. So make sure you subscribe there and you watch their show tonight. Josh, any final thoughts? That won't keep us on for another 10 minutes because I know I did that. Any final thoughts to wrap this up?
Thank you for letting me off because I thought I was going to have another an hour and a half to play Fortnite and get sprites and level them up. And now you just wasted 30 more minutes of my time. So now I'm limited on my sprite consumption. So appreciate you, Bobby. But everyone tonight, and I'm being serious, I cannot wait to talk about the show with Adrian. I hope everyone seriously does go watch that. But if you're a fan of us or a fan of Bobby or you just like professional wrestling, we're not just live on Saturdays. I don't know if we talked about this already. We got Thursday night, Real Talk Wrestling, myself, El Ginger Americano, Clutch. We talk about mostly WWE. We did a whole SummerSlam preview. On Fridays at noon, I do the AEW rundown where I give my honest thoughts of that Dynamite of the week, whether you like it or not. But I do give it props and I do criticize it. Saturdays, of course, you see us here, and Bobby and his brother do a Monday Night Nitro recap whenever they can, because you know what? Bobby's brother is a full-time training wrestler and entertainer in the world, and he can't always make the stream. And you know what? I told him, don't do the X Factor. He did anyway, and I can't wait to see it, Nick. Honestly, I know you made it look good, brother. Can you send me that video? Because I want to see it. I go on your Twitter, and I can't see these videos.
Yeah.
Where can I find Nick?
Nick, I think he's on Twitter at Nick Fox Music. You could follow him on Instagram. Actually, he actually has another Instagram now for his gimmick. If I could, let me pull that up. I think it's called the Rhinestone. Let me see here. Make sure I got the right one.
Jesse
Rhinestone Jesse Guerin. He's a part of the tag team now. He's part of a tag team group now, and called Rock and Rap, and find this stuff.
Well, I hope Nick, if you're watching, you don't beat me up one day because you're a professional wrestler, and I hope you don't hit me with the X Factor. Yeah, I'm not going to sell it, brother.
That's ready to go.
All right, let's get out of here. You can send me that later. Thank you for everyone watching. Of course, Adrian, Maria, Justin. I see Luigi in here. I play as Luigi when I play Mario. And everyone else who watch, make sure you watch SmackDown tonight. And have fun. And if Exhibit 4, if Brock Lesnar wins tonight, Vince is back. It's just, you can just go ahead and say it.
This is Nicky wrestling there in the Arizona wrestling. Him and he has a new tag team partner. They're fighting the women there. He's full on Andy Kaufman. He had a match or a tag team match with a woman.
That's cool.
He put her in the Boston Crab. Yeah. I knew you thought that'd be cool.
That's why he's hitting the X Factor. Makes sense now.
Right. There you go. So I just sent you his profile, brother, on Instagram, so you can check it out. But anyway, we're gonna see what goes down. Lesnar, Obafemi. I think that closes out the show tonight on SummerSlam. So I'm really looking forward to Raw for SmackDown and for the guys' reactions. I will be watching live. Until then, guys, I'm Bobby Melendez. That's Josh Kimmel. Like and subscribe and go enjoy SummerSlam. We'll see you next week.